Well. We're back, baby. Episode 16. Today we got a special guest. Been waiting a long time for this one. Mr. Tony.
What's going on, guys?
Welcome. Let's talk about the diabetes. That was a good... We should have talked about that at first, probably.
I know.
When I introduce you or whatever. But we'll talk about it, dude. What's it... Give us your little story about it and everything.
Backstory?
If you want to.
How I found out?
Yeah, if you want to.
That's actually... It's pretty fucking hilarious. So, I got it when I was... I don't even remember, dude. I think I was 16. Sophomore year of high school. You were in that health class with me.
Really?
When Doc Marzilli came in.
Oh, yeah.
It was like me, you... Was Taylor in it, too? Maybe you weren't in it.
Maybe I don't know. But
anyways,
he went anyway.
You remember Doc Marzilli?
Yeah.
So he came in to do a freaking like presentation on testicular cancer.
Yeah.
And he did this fucking long ass presentation. It scared all of us shitless.
Yeah, I remember
like,
every time.
We were all like fucking in class, like feeling our fucking nuts while we were doing it, because it was like fucking like holy shit, like what the fuck, you have testicular cancer and like not know it. So, after that presentation and being so starstruck and all the questions that I asked the guy, I was like, Mom, like I called my mom right after school. I'm like, Mom, can you please schedule me a fucking doctor's appointment to check to see if I have testicular cancer? Because like, I didn't have like pain, but like, this is gonna sound weird, but my piss was so thick.
What?
My piss was fucking thick. Like when I would pee, it was thick, and that's a symptom of diabetes, which I didn't fucking know at the time, because I was like, what the fuck, like why, like I was like peeing and it was thick. So like a couple weeks go by and I'm thinking like I'm having like my mom does everything for me. I'm 16 years old, like I'm figuring she just fucking scheduled an appointment. I'm like, I come home from school one day, like 2 weeks later after that presentation. I'm like, Mom, like, do I have a doctor's appointment? Like, did you set one up? It's like, no, I'll do it. So, like, another couple weeks go by, and I'm noticing, like, dude, like, why the fuck is my piss so thick? Like, what the fuck is going on? I'm literally scared shitless that I have testicular cancer after all that shit I fucking, like we watched in the presentation or whatever. And, like, whatever. I go to a doctor's appointment. The guy's like, you know how when you fucking have like a fucking examination down there.
Yeah.
First of all, my doctor's gay, so that doesn't help.
That doesn't help.
Does not help. He's like cupping my nuts, like trying to feel if I have any lumps or shit, and I'm just like, he has like my nuts in his hand. He's like feeling around. I'm like, Jesus Christ. So he's like, all right, go piss in a cup in the bathroom or whatever and bring it back. And that's like the final examination. So I go to the bathroom, take a piss. I leave it there. I like barely had to piss, so like it didn't help. But like a couple days go by or whatever, and I get a call from the doctor. And I'm like, well, you didn't piss that much, so we're going to need another sample. But we did notice that there was, there was a lot of sugar in your urine. So we're going to need you to do some blood work for us. So after that, I went back, I did another piss sample just so that they can see if it was actually sugar or not. And like I forget like the reading, but they said like there was like way more sugar in your urine than like it's like normal for the average human being. So then I got blood work. A couple days go by. I find out after school one day, I remember that I have diabetes or whatever, and like it sucked or whatever, like finding out. But like as like the months went on, like it was a lot of adapting and like learning at first, and like how much insulin to take, when to, like timing of your meals, shit like that, like when to eat, what to eat. Like just feel like learning your body, because you're basically it's like a newborn baby. Like you need to like basically relearn how to live life, which I found to be like relatively easy at first, but like now, like years into it, there's like almost no insulin left in my body. So like basically everything that I put into me, like with my insulin pen, that's the only like source of insulin I'm getting. Like there's no like naturally made insulin for my pancreas anymore because it's completely dead.
Damn.
So like that, I mean like, and like it gets easier that way because like if there's still like insulin present in your body or whatever, like it's kind of harder to like feel out like your blood sugars and what levels you're going to be at during the day, because you might get an extra boost from your pancreas if you have some like still natural insulin. It might just like give it to you.
Yeah.
Like your pancreas might give it to you, but now it's completely dead. Like it's, I guess you can call it easier to like just, it's like easier like equations and math, like what to calculate in my pen or whatever, and like what to like shoot inside of me.
Yeah.
And then like just like it's easier now.
Yeah.
But like yeah, it was like crazy how I found out, but fucking used to it now.
Yeah. Yeah, you're used to it, but you're pretty shitty at managing it, I feel like. Maybe you'd argue the opposite, but I swear to God, you're always getting calls from your mom or texts from your mom, like, your blood sugar's low, your blood sugar's high.
Well, that is half because I have a crazy, like, mother, and, like, even if it's not low, like, she'll fucking, like, text me or call me or whatever. But I would argue that obviously like the college life obviously like it doesn't help it, but
yeah,
but like I understand like how to live life like a fun life like during these like fucking 4 years that you get in college, like how to live with diabetes. Like I'm like if I take a sip of alcohol, like taking insulin is very dangerous because like when you sip alcohol, your liver like shuts off. Like it doesn't give you sugar.
Yeah.
So like technically your blood sugar is always going to gradually go low, and low is dangerous. So like if I take a sip of alcohol, I just don't touch my insulin pen because I just kind of let the alcohol or my no liver do the work. It just kind of like gradually balance my sugar.
Okay.
But yeah, like basically what I'm trying to say is I just know. I know my body pretty well.
Yeah.
Like yeah, my just like if you want to say I manage it well, I think I do.
Yeah. You're still walking, so you're not doing too bad.
I'm a healthy kid, I think.
Well, yeah, I was gonna ask, how do you kind of just talked about it a little bit, but how do you manage it drinking? Like
drinking.
You drink not super often, but like
So,
alcohol.
So
you
okay,
drink a decent amount.
I'm a retard. But
it's okay, you can say that.
Yeah, okay. So like when I drink or whatever, it's like you drink with diabetes, it's a completely different like kind of drinking if you're just like a normal human being. Like if your body works fine, you drink, you get drunk, and like everything works fine. With diabetes, when literally a sip of alcohol enters your body and it hits your bloodstream, that tells your liver, well, it literally it denies liver. I think it's called like denying liver function when the alcohol enters your system, but basically it denies the liver function of producing sugar, like manually like producing sugar into your blood to prevent you from going like having a low blood sugar. And like obviously like if you have a low blood sugar, it's like you can pass out and like go into a coma. So drinking like on the weekends or whatever, like basically what I do is I'll have a freaking like very like fatty or protein breakfast so that my sugars are not like elevated to like a high number, but like I'll have it because like the more fat and protein in your body, the less your sugar fluctuates, because like those like fats and proteins kind of like help you from going up or down like super quick. They kind of keep it stable. So like I'll eat a lot in the morning, like when like before a day of drinking on like a Saturday, and like I won't take insulin because I'll just drink, and like I'm constantly checking my phone. Like I'm constantly, because I have the continuous glucose monitor that sends you my readings to my app. So like I'm constantly checking it every fucking 10 minutes. Like I get drunk, but like I always, like I'm the most paranoid kid when it comes to that. Like I'm always checking my phone. And like I've heard a lot of accidents about like drinking with diabetes where kids like they just don't check their numbers, but like it's the most important thing. You're not like a normal. You're not a normal. You're not the average bear. You have a sickness or disease, and you just have to check it every like your blood sugar needs to be in a range that is like survivable, or else you're gonna fucking pass out and die.
Yeah.
And that's never happened to me, because like that, I freaking have blacked out before, but like I made sure my numbers were at a range that they wouldn't like go low. They wouldn't go low. Like I also am eating while I drink. Well, I'm also like eating when I drink.
Okay.
So like it's kind of just keep it. It will give it the sugar it will give my body the sugar it needs, so it doesn't go low. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, practice made perfect for me. Like that's like the number one thing. It's not even with drinking. It's like practice makes perfect with everything with diabetes, especially with like playing sports.
That was my next question.
Yeah.
Is how do you manage it playing sports and being active?
So like, or whatever. Like I played soccer and basketball in high school. Like, and I already had played 2 years or whatever. Like in high school without like diabetes. So like it took some adapting. Like I remember my junior year, I can't remember. I think soccer came first because that was in the fall and basketball was in the winter. So I played a lot my junior year. I remember varsity, and like I rarely came out of the game. So like I had to make sure it's good to like load up on sugar like before you go out and like play. So like before a game, like I'd take like just a standard Powerade and just like hatch it, and just like it would make my sugar go like a little high, like around like 200 or something, and then like I would like eat some protein, so that way it, instead of going straight back down, because just having sugar in your system would mean it would just go up and back down.
Okay.
I would get it up to that number, and then I would eat like a granola bar or something that has protein and fat in it. That would make the crash just go down gradually slower, and then with the running and like shit like that, like it will bring it down too. But then I have halftime to just check my numbers and see if I need more or not.
Okay.
So it's kind of like that. But like there have been times like, actually not even in high school, but when I played for CCRI, like there was a couple times because my diabetes was getting not worse, but like with type 1 it's just genetic, like it's genetics, like it's bound to get worse. Like there's no stopping it, there's no cure as of now. There was a couple times where like I would literally like I would take so much sugar, and like I would do what I was doing in high school, and that wasn't enough. So like halfway through like the first half of a game, like I remember we were getting destroyed, it didn't really matter. I literally like it, and it hits you like that sometimes. So like I was running, and like all of a sudden I'm just like, holy shit, like I feel like I'm drunk when I have a low blood sugar. So
Really?
I'm like, I literally felt like I feel like I'm like a drunk retard when I'm low. Like if that makes sense. So I take like I pivoted one way, and then I pivoted the other way, and like on that next step I was like, holy shit, like I'm about to like fall over. I feel like I'm drunk. So I'm like I like stumble over to the sideline. This is like while the game's going. I'm like, coach, like I need a sub like right now, or else I'm gonna like pass out. So like I ended up just walking off the field and like just going and chugged like 2 Gatorades, and my sugar was at like, it was like it has, so the app on my phone, like it tells you the reading of my blood sugar, and then it tells you the direction that it's going.
Yeah.
So it was like it went from like, so I like 200 to like 60 in the matter of like 10 minutes. And it was an arrow going down. So if I didn't come out of the game, like it would have kept going down.
Oh my god.
So like, but that just comes with like as the worse it gets, your body's more like sensitive to like sugar and like insulin. So like if I took a lot of insulin like a couple hours before, like I'd probably go lower easier, because there might be some insulin still in my body.
Yeah.
But yeah, but it just like I said with the drinking shit, it comes with practice makes perfect.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah.
What about eating? What's it like? How do you hold or keep a good diet? Or is it easier with diabetes? Is it harder to eat healthy, I guess, is what I'm trying to ask?
The main thing you have to watch out with in diabetes is like obviously your carbohydrate intake. Like if you're eating, like obviously the more carbs you eat, the more insulin you have to take. So like you have a ratio, like how many like units of insulin you take with how many carbs you eat. Like mine's, for example, like for every 7 carbs I eat, it's 1 unit of insulin. So like obviously like it took some adapting to be able to like look at a plate of food and like eyeball the amount of carbs, because like I'm not like I don't have like the food labels in front of me all the time, like when I'm eating out or something. Like it's like basically being able to like look at a plate of food and like eyeball how many carbs and then just multiply it and just take what you think you should be taking and then just watch it afterward to see if you did right. And that was like the practice. That was the practice, and I got good at it. And
So what happens if you miss? What happens if you
take too much?
take too much or take too little?
Okay, so if I take too much, like if I say like there's like 60 carbohydrates in front of me, and I calculate like I'm supposed to take like 12 units of insulin, like that's way too much, because that's too much. That's too high of a math equation for the 60 grams of carbs.
Yeah.
So basically, what would happen if I take like 3 extra units, my sugar won't go down to the spot that I want it to. It will go even lower. So like, and like if that happens, you just need to take fast acting sugar.
Yeah.
Before it gets too low or to a dangerous position.
Okay.
If I take too little, obviously it's just the complete opposite.
Yeah.
It goes up too high. And like it's better to be high than low in diabetes, but the thing that like people like don't understand like is that if you're high for like just like if like diabetes doesn't kill you, like unbalanced blood sugars kill you.
Okay.
So like the turn, like if you have diabetes and you have good control of it, like you're gonna live a long healthy life.
Mm-hmm.
If you fuck around for 20 years like and don't take care of yourself, like you're it's gonna affect you later in your life.
Yeah.
You're gonna have complications, and like as long as you have like just if you just know what you're doing, it's all like practice. It's all practice. It's like, can you play the game perfectly? Yeah. And like I wouldn't say I'm perfect at it, but I'm pretty good at just keeping like a good, like I have a good routine. Yeah. I have a good like system where I keep my sugars stable.
That's good.
Yeah. Obviously, I like on the weekends if I'm out with my friends and like drinking, like they're gonna be a little higher than normal, but they always come back down. So
that's good.
I'm doing something right.
There you go, buddy. Trying to live a long, healthy life.
Yeah.
There we go. I'm trying to think of what other questions I could ask you about diabetes that people would want to know about, whether they just got diagnosed with diabetes or they've had it, and something that. What's like one tip you'd give someone
before you have sex? Make sure your sugar's high.
Really? Let's talk about that. Because you burn off like so many calories.
You would be surprised.
Really?
How much of a workout it is. Like, dude, I have no joke. One time, my numbers were high, and like I didn't like take insulin or anything because like I knew I was gonna like be having sex that night. And I swear to God, I went down like quicker, like having sex, and I went low. And what happens when you go low is you just go soft. You just go soft. You go soft, and like that was more of a workout than like playing in like a soccer game.
That's insane.
Swear to God, it was like equivalent, like the way my numbers like moved, it was equivalent to like playing in a soccer game. And I went low, and I was like, all right, I need to take like a 10-minute break. Get it back.
That's funny. Pop some sugar and get back in there.
It's like eat a meal. So it's like you have like it goes up and it stays up because like you'd be surprised how much calories you probably burn off.
Wow. All right. Well, for all you boys out there that got diabetes, don't go low when you're trying to pound it, because
no, like definitely
that's not good.
Definitely make sure you know what you're doing.
That's funny. That's good.
Yeah.
What else? What else can I ask you about diabetes? I'm trying to think. What's it like working out, like lifting weights with diabetes? Is that just normal, kind of like playing sports, same thing?
So, there's aerobic exercise and anaerobic exercise. And I forget which one is which, but one of them is like, you're like you can't like you're literally running and like doing cardio and you like can't breathe, like you're gasping for air the whole time because it's such hard conditioning. And the other is like you're working hard, but like you're able to like catch your breath, like you're taking breaks.
That's
taking a lot of breaks.
anaerobic.
That's anaerobic. That's what I thought. Aerobic is the complete opposite.
Yeah.
It's you're struggling to like you're doing like intense cardio or like intense lifting where you're not taking breaks and like you're gasping for air because you're working so hard. So if you're doing aerobic exercise, which weightlifting, like especially for me, like I don't ever find myself like I pace myself in my weightlifting workouts, especially over the past year. But like I like it's just it doesn't like weightlifting doesn't really affect me as much because like I said, it's more anaerobic than aerobic, and like it. Like don't get me wrong, like I still like break a sweat and I'm like heavy breathing if I'm doing like a certain workout or it comes to weightlifting, but like cardio, like sprints or like like long distance running.
Yeah, I know what cardio.
That stuff like that stuff just has a way bigger impact in terms of like dropping like my blood sugar.
Okay.
Like whereas weightlifting, like like I have a lot of time to just like keep checking my phone, like to see if I'm in a good range, and I could take a sip of. Whereas if you're doing like long distance cardio, you don't have that much time to like check your phone or something and take like Gatorade if you need it. But yeah, weightlifting is. I've done a lot more of that than I have of cardio over the past year, and like it's way easier to manage your.
That's good.
And I'm still noticing good results. So.
Yeah. What about taking supplements like pre-workout or even I don't know creatine or protein?
So I actually found this out with creatine, and I learned it firsthand of experience. And I think all like diabetics should hear this. So during the summer, especially when it's hot out and shit, I stopped taking creatine because of this. So like creatine obviously dehydrates you, as you all know. And like if you're not drinking enough water, like especially if you find yourself outside a lot in the summer, which I do because I work outside, like I landscape and shit. But if you're not drinking enough water, especially, and I still drink a fucking shitload of water, like you said, at least drink a gallon a day, which clearly isn't enough. But I found myself going getting like in dangerously low positions.
Really?
Because of being dehydrated. And if you're dehydrated, your sugar like goes down a lot faster than it would if you were hydrated. And like I was straight up eating full meals and not taking insulin.
Yeah.
And like my numbers wouldn't even go high. That's like how like important it is to make sure you're staying hydrated with creatine and if you're diabetic. So like if you're going to take creatine with diabetes, like you have to make sure that you're really getting enough water because if not, it could be dangerous like for you.
Yeah, it is dangerous even just for someone without diabetes to not drink enough water with creatine because I don't know exactly what it does. But I think it does something with your liver and it goes in there, and I think that's why you don't drink enough, and you can get liver. It's either kidney. I think it's kidney.
It's kidneys. Yeah, it's kidneys.
And if you don't drink enough, you don't filter. It doesn't filter through your kidney enough, and it doesn't clear it out. So then that's when you can get like really serious kidney problems and stuff like that. And then you get kidney stones and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So it's just that, but magnified.
It's that. But like I said, just it's you're not the average. You're not the average person. There's always It's that magnified. That's a good way to put it. Yeah. But like other stuff like pre-workout, like I've never really taken pre-workout or anything. I just assume it's like a lot of just caffeine to hype you up before you work out.
It's a little. It depends on what kind.
There's probably like obviously like sugar-free kinds, but I've never had an experience with like taking pre-workout and like having like an episode or something. Yeah. Where I've had to like modify my make any adjustments or anything, but yeah. Yeah, but creatine for sure. Make sure if you're diabetic, like just drink a shitload of water. Yeah. Like the more the better.
Yeah, definitely. What about do you use Splenda a lot, right?
Yeah.
You have to use that?
Yeah, well Well, it's really not that good for you still. It's a sugar substitute, and like if I were to just have natural sugar, like it would just my numbers would go through the roof. So like I have to use that like when I drink coffee, like I'm pretty sure like even when I drink alcohol, I drink like hard seltzers. So like they're like sugar substitute products because there's like no carbohydrates in those, but they still taste sweet because of the sugar substitute products in them.
Yeah.
So like yeah, I'd say I drink a good amount of Splenda, even though it's not that good for your like mental health in the future.
Nah, whatever. Well, it's one or the other. You can't have both.
Oh,
right?
I know. It's yeah.
Those are some good tips for all those people listening
Yeah.
about the diabetes. I think that's good. I didn't even know some of that stuff.
Yeah, well,
That's
a lot
pretty
of
crazy.
that shit I found out like the creatine, like fucking even like, I mean like, fucking having sex with diabetes, like
Yeah, you just gotta learn. You know.
it's a fucking workout, man.
That's
like,
funny.
Yeah, you gotta.
Yeah,
really
that must
take
suck. You ever
precaution.
just got like, you were just in the middle of it and your sugar just drops so low that you're just in the middle of having
Dude,
sex and you're just
yeah.
dead soft.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's happened to me like twice, dude. I literally have to take like a 15-minute break too, because your sugar, like sometimes if it's so low, it takes a while to get back up. So like, you're not even in the fucking mood after too. It sucks.
That sucks.
So like just literally just make sure that you're at a good level and have a lot of like fat and protein in you.
Yeah.
So like it slows down that drop.
Hey, take notes, boys.
Yeah.
There you go.
Take fucking notes.
Helping all these guys get through sex with diabetes.
I mean, I fucking don't. I barely even know like any other guys with diabetes. So
Yeah, it's not super common, but I get out there, educate the people.
yeah, that's what it's all about.
It's a perfect conversation for this then.
Yeah.
Do you even want to talk about sports? Again, those topics that we were talking about at the beginning, they're kind of stupid.
I mean, like, what other ones are there?
I don't know. I think I might just cut some of the ones at the beginning out and just do diabetes because that was like a good talk.
That was,
think
yeah. I feel
it
like
was way better. I think people would like
too.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm down. We can just keep that if you want.
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's do that. That was like a half hour anyway, I think.
Yeah.
So
Let's
right
go.
on the money if you're good with that.
Okay.
You good with that? Or
What
you
do
got
you-
anything else? You like anything else you want to talk more about diabetes?
I mean, like, I don't really know what else there is to talk about.
Yeah, so we can just end it there.
I feel like I'm definitely missing something. So like,
I'm trying to think of what I could ask you. I should have had questions. I should have known we were going to talk about this, and I could have had questions for you. Let me see. Let me look real quick. Thanks for coming out, big dog. Educating the people on diabetes.
yeah.
Beautiful.
No problem, dog.
All right, I'll see you guys next episode.
See you guys.